In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and all that dwelled within. He formed the first man, Adam, from the dust of the ground and breathed life into his nostrils. Adam was placed in the Garden of Eden, a paradise of beauty and abundance, to care for it and tend to it. But God saw that Adam was alone, and he said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." So God put Adam into a deep sleep and took one of his ribs, forming the first woman, Eve. When Adam awoke, he was struck by Eve's beauty and said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." And so they lived together in the garden, naked and unashamed, with a deep love and connection. But there was one tree in the garden that God had warned them about. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God had said, "You may eat from any tree in the garden, but not from this one. If you do, you will surely die." One day, while they were walking in the garden, the serpent, a cunning and deceitful creature, approached them. He whispered to Eve, "Did God really say you can't eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve replied, "We can eat from any tree, but not from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or we will die." The serpent sneered, "You won't die. God knows that if you eat from that tree, you will be like him, knowing good and evil." Eve was tempted, and she took a bite of the fruit. Then she gave some to Adam, and he ate as well. As soon as they ate, their eyes were opened, and they saw their nakedness. They felt shame and guilt, and they hid from God. But God called out to them, "Where are you?" And Adam replied, "I was afraid, so I hid." God said, "Who told you that you were naked? Did you eat from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent. But God saw the truth in their hearts and knew that they had disobeyed him. And so, God banished them from the Garden of Eden, and they had to work hard to survive in a world filled with thorns and thistles. But even in their disobedience, God showed mercy and love, providing them with clothing and promising a Savior who would one day redeem them from their sin. Adam and Eve had children, and their descendants multiplied. But the effects of their disobedience were passed down through the generations. Yet, God's love and grace remained, a beacon of hope in a world filled with darkness and sin. And so, the story of Adam and Eve serves as a reminder of the human condition, our tendency to disobey and our need for redemption. But most of all, it shows us the depths of God's love and his desire to restore us to himself, even in the face of our imperfections.